Slow down.
I thought you wanted me to put still up. My phone is here. My phone is here. Nothing, huh?
Let me just see.
Fine. If you want to know, there are bank statements over here.
Let's continue standing for the parliamentary prayer.
Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness has appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society, good of all human lives upon it, and the just government of its people, we beseech you to look with your abundant favor upon us, your servants, whom you have entrusted with the performance of such important trust in this community. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we may treat and consider all matters that shall come under our attention and deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of this region and of those whose interests you have committed to us. Amen.
Amen.
The first agenda item in the order paper, communication from the chair.
Good afternoon, honorable members.
Good afternoon, Honorable Speaker.
We are going to have a very short plenary today because we just have 2 items, and both of which are about the laying of papers. So when I adjourn, I will just walk out briefly to unrobe and come back so that we can perform another function to launch our strategic plan. So the plenary per se will be very short, but we will spend more time here launching our strategic plan. I'm happy to see you, Honorable Opoka.
Oh, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Let us proceed.
The second agenda item in the order paper, the East African Community Supplementary Appropriation number 2, Bill 2020. First reading by way of motion.
Chairperson, Council of Ministers. Chairperson, Council of Ministers. Is Kigali connected? I can see you, Council Chair. Can you hear me? Can the Council Chair hear me? Because I can see him, but IT, is there any connection problem? Just a moment of indulgence as we try to connect together.
Oh, okay.
So, Council Chair, you are connected back? Okay.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move that the East African Community Supplementary Appropriation
Information.
number 2.
Proceed, Honorable Council Chair.
Mr. Speaker, sir,
Right, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Chris.
I want to raise an issue regarding the quorum. As we can see, our members, almost 3 chapters are not represented, so I don't think we can continue without quorum.
Uganda.
Well, which ones?
Which chapters are not there? Honorable Chris.
Actually, Uganda, I see only 2 members. And Kenya also,
Who are the two members from Uganda?
Honorable Poka and Honorable Mary.
Yeah,
And
so is
also-
there any other member from Uganda here?
Mary is here also, Mary.
Yeah, Mary
Just-
and Honorable Poka are here.
Only two.
Okay,
And also
so,
in Kenya,
okay.
I see two members. Honorable Kenneth and Honorable Mzee Oginga. And
And I'm
Fatuma,
also
sorry,
here.
Fatuma is there. I'm sorry. Thank you, Chair.
Mheshimiwa Christopher, I'm here.
Okay, so let us perform the usual procedural ascertainment of the quorum. Let me. But I have seen Honorable Nakauchi also. Yes.
I'm around, Right Honour.
There's Honorable Nakauchi, Honorable Poka, and Honorable Mary.
Honourable Dong is also around.
Yeah, so do we really need to ascertain the quorum? Because Honorable Speaker was very specific, Honorable Chris. It was about Uganda. Now we have 4 members from Uganda. Can we proceed?
Mr. Chair.
Yeah, so we can
Thank
proceed. Thank you very much, Honorable Chris. Council Chair, please proceed.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move that the East African Community Supplementary Appropriation Number 2 Bill 2020 be read for the first time, sir.
Seconders. Honorable Rutazana, Honorable Ambassador Fatuma, Honorable Dr. Oburu, Honorable Professor Karinda, and Honorable Fatuma Ibrahim, the other members raising their hands. Before you read it. Okay, so the bill is referred to the Committee on General Purpose.
Agenda item number 3 in the other paper, the East African Community Appropriation Bill 2020, first reading by way of motion.
Chair, Council of Ministers.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move that the East African Community Appropriation Bill 2020 be read for the first time, sir.
Seconders. Honorable Moyan, Honorable Nakauchi Susan, Honorable Ambassador Fatuma, and the members whose hands, Honorable Leontine. Yes, the bill is referred to the Committee on General Purpose. So, honorable members, as I said before, this brings us to an end of the plenary today. I will be back in 2 minutes so that we can launch our strategic plan. The House is adjourned until tomorrow at 2:30.
Oh, Honorable Happiness. Yes. How are you?
Honorable Poka. Nice to see you, Mheshimiwa Poka.
Mr. Poka.
Nice to see you too.
Yes.
Yes.
Hey.
Honorable Chairman.
Hello, Uganda
Hello,
chapter.
Chris.
Yes.
Hello, Honorable Dongo and Honorable Namara the Chair and
sent you the number for your friend.
That guy?
You said, yeah,
Oh.
you sent the number. But I wanted to
Yes.
hear your voice.
It's here. I'm here, my friend. I'm around. Oh, the speaker is around now.
Yes, yes, the speaker is around. Thank you, Honorable Rose. Yeah, honorable members, I call the meeting to order. As I told you a moment ago, we are going to perform a function of unveiling our strategic plan. I do welcome you to this brief but auspicious occasion at the launch of the East African Legislative Assembly Strategic Plan. The launch is delayed, but nevertheless very welcome at this moment of the Assembly's tenure in office. I note with great satisfaction the formulation of this strategic plan was an all-inclusive process involving the EALA Commission, members, staff, and other stakeholders. It is therefore an inward and outward look of where we are and where we want to be. This is a prudent and significant investment to be proud of. I want to sincerely thank the subcommittee headed by Honorable Dr. Oburu Oginga that was appointed by EALA Commission to spearhead the process for their effort. The launch of the strategic plan, which is the third since the inception of EALA in 2001, is definitely an indication of the total commitment accrued to the integration dispensation by the Assembly and by yourselves. I'm pleased that we have anchored the strategic plan on people-centeredness. I wish to reiterate that serving citizens should be at the very core and center stage of the Assembly's work. The real test comes in the implementation of the set objectives and strategies. Furthermore, today's launch of the third strategic plan, you may recall, coincides with the commencement of the second half of our term of service, having recently attained the midterm. As we take stock of our achievements and challenges, let us continue to rise to the occasion and emphatically sow in our quest to serve the region. The next 5 years, or literally, for the remaining period of our term of service, should see the Assembly become more innovative, proactive, and focused towards ensuring and remaining a cutting edge of the regional integration process. Honorable members, the strategic plan has 11 main strategic issues for which we to pursue. These interventions call for, among other things, enactment of relevant laws to consolidate and facilitate full operationalization of our integration pillars, strengthening our oversight functions to ensure regional compliance with the laws and protocols, summit directives and council decisions, and engagement with the national assemblies to ensure harmonization of laws of the EAC. In addition to furthering the integration agenda, it is key for EALA to contribute to the realization of the AU 2063 agenda and the UN Sustainable Development Goals 2030 agenda. That said, as usual, there will be challenges ahead, but that are not insurmountable if we remain united. Resources, financial and human, are critical in the implementation of this plan. It is important that we mobilize adequate resources to enable the successful realization of the stated objectives. I'm cognizant of the fact that the strategic plan projects the required resources for the entire period of implementation based on the EAC midterm expenditure framework to the tune of 104,842,466 US dollars. The MTF, though, factors in an annual increment of 5%, which practically may be insufficient to implement the grand strategic plan. This calls for the Assembly to find other ways and means of meeting the funding gap, including engaging development partners and exploring opportunities for public-private partnerships. I congratulate the partner states for their political and financial support in driving the integration agenda. We will continue to work closely with the partner states to ensure the financial remittances remain consistent and timely. The other critical matter is that of attaining financial and administrative autonomy of the Assembly, which is currently on paper, but for which operationalization is key during the life of the third EALA strategic plan. We will commit to achieve this. Before I end, it is only befitting to acknowledge the vast contribution of our predecessors, the first, the second, the third assemblies, for the sound foundation they left behind, upon which we build an autonomous, effective, and efficient assembly. It is now my singular privilege and pleasure to unveil the third EALA strategic plan. I thank you for your kind attention. Honorable members, it's unfortunate we are not together here, and the logistical challenges, you don't have a copy. But during the process of negotiating this, I think you discussed it. So here is our strategic plan that I am going to unveil on your behalf. And later on, we shall have an interaction about it, and I will speak to the press to explain the content of this plan. Congratulations, all of you who are involved, and all of you. We have copies for everyone, but unfortunately, we are not able to distribute them. Now, as I said in my opening remarks, we had a subcommittee that helped us to put together ideas to prepare this strategic plan. I wanted to acknowledge all of you, starting with the chair, Honorable Dr. Oburu, and I welcome you to make some remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, this was a task which previously was performed by consultants. But this is the very first time that the Commission gave the task to its own members, that is myself and Honorable Susan Nakauchi. And within a short time, together with our very, very competent researchers and the staff of the Assembly, we managed to put together this plan. And I'm very happy, Mr. Speaker, that right now you are able to launch it so that its implementation can start. And all our partners, development partners, and all other partners with us in the performance of our functions of achieving the integration of the community can now see clearly that the Assembly has a clear vision and a clear path it wants to go in the in effectively implementing the ideals of the East African community, the ideals for which it was established. And Mr. Speaker, I would like to thank all the staff who are involved, all members of the Commission, and all the members of the EALA Assembly who effectively participated in the discussions and in the preparation of this plan, particularly when it was tabled. I was at that time disabled, Mr. Speaker, sir. I was a bit indisposed, and my very able colleague who was with me, Rose Akol, I mean not Rose, Honorable Fatuma and Dagiza, presented the plan on my behalf or on our behalf, and the plan was adopted by the House. And today, Mr. Speaker, it is a very, very great day that the plan is being launched, and is being launched by none other than you, Mr. Speaker, who has been very, very helpful in giving us guidance throughout the preparation of this plan. So, Mr. Speaker, I don't want to make a long speech, though I had a written speech, but I just want to end there, Mr. Speaker, that I want to thank everybody who participated, and I hope that from now, henceforth, the Assembly will not be engaging consultants to prepare plans when we have the internal capacity to prepare these plans, Mr. Speaker, because it is expensive to engage consultants and the Assembly spends a lot of resources to engage them. So with those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I would like to end by also thanking all the institutions of the community who cooperated with us in making these plans. All of them gave us their own views of how they want the Assembly to enable them by making relevant laws to facilitate their functions and also to generally help them in enlightening the people of East Africa of the existence of our community and the importance of it. So, Mr. Speaker, with those few remarks, I thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Oburu. Let me praise for the record the list of members who constituted a subcommittee that worked on this strategic plan that Dr. Oburu was heading. Others were Honorable Susan Nakauchi, Honorable Pamela Masai, Honorable Fatuma Ndangiza, Honorable Leontine Zeimana, and the Honorable Dr. Woda Jeremiah. We can only wish that you stay here longer than some of us so that you can help even the next assembly to proceed in this path. There is nothing that can ensure continuity of EALA and our thoughts than having some of you who worked on this strategic plan make it to the next assembly. In the same way, we benefited from the strategic plan that was done by those who came before us. So thank you very much, members of the subcommittee. And if there is any member who wants to comment about this, we still have time.
Excuse me, Chair.
Yes, Honorable Barozi Fatuma.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity. And at outset, I would also like to congratulate EALA Fourth Assembly for this historic milestone that we are launching the Strategic Plan 2019-2024. As already alluded to by our Chair, Honorable Oburu Ginga, this was a participatory process, and for the first time, the Assembly was able to undertake a strategic plan using its own human resources, members of the Assembly, and also the staff. And as already said, it's a strategic plan that aims at strengthening the attainment of full implementation of the pillars of US integration. We hope at the end of 5 years, EALA should be an autonomous assembly with administrative and financial authority. Hopefully, all the key stakeholders, including the council, should support EALA towards this. We hope this strategic plan will also strengthen reinforcing partnership between the Assembly and members of Parliament from other partner states and also other various stakeholders. So really, I'm happy that today is being launched, but as the Speaker said, the biggest challenge is implementation, and we've put in place a strong monitoring and evaluation framework. So hopefully the next planning process is going to be anchored on this strategic plan so that you can plan smartly. And this is also going to be a tool for resource mobilization. So I just wanted to add that there is someone who has forgotten, who was part of this strategic plan, and that was Honorable Msamali.
Oh, yes. Very, very sorry, Honorable Musamari.
Thank you.
It was a big omission to forget a key member of the subcommittee. Maybe let me say something that some of you didn't know when we were considering this in the commission and thinking of Honorable Musamari. It was based on his own experience working with the Parliament. So there was very strong attributes that we considered to have him in the team. So regrets for that omission, Honorable Musamari. Thank you. Now, honorable members, thank you for your time. As you understand, when we finish our budgeting process, we shall have our planning meeting. And our planning, and this is an advance information to the chairpersons of the committees and the commission. Our planning should be based on this strategic plan for our next, for the remaining part of the financial year. Now we shall be planning according to the strategic plan and stick to it. Honorable Chris.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First of all, I'd like to congratulate this team of able members who came together and give us this document, which we are going to use for the next 5 years or 4 years. However, Mr. Chair, since we need this copy so urgently, I have a suggestion. Though the possibility of distributing this copy to every member seems to be so difficult, but you can use the service of DHL so that every chapter can get at least a copy. So that when we come for this planning meeting, we have an idea of what we are going to do. So I think the best way is to use this DHL or EMS services so that we can have it. Thank you, Chair.
That's a very good proposal. It will be done. We will send enough copies for everyone, for every chapter.
Thank you very much.
The clerk, take note and do that immediately.
Chair.
Honorable
Wanjiku.
Yeah. Yes.
Chair, thank you, and I congratulate the team and the organizers. But Chair, with the current budget constraint and the time we are having today, I don't think we need to send the hard copy. That is another vote on account. And we have already been sent it. I have just seen it here, 92 pages.
Yeah.
We have already received on soft copy. In this era of virtual operations, I don't think we need to engage EMS and collecting them from our post box and our clerks doing a lot of work and papers and printing when we have a 92 pages on soft. I think we can read it from our, I hope, Chair, you are, I'm not sure, Chair, if you have gotten my point, but in summary, I'm saying at this
I have
era
got
of
your
virtual,
point very well.
Yes, I can already read it here in my laptop. Thank you, Chair.
The Chair wishes
Yeah,
to support Honorable Wanjiku.
It is sent online, but we understand at times. Well, point taken, Honorable Wanjiku. We'll see how to facilitate those who will have challenges reading online. But it is sent, a copy is sent online. And actually, you had another copy that you discussed before we approved it. Yes. So you already have 2 copies in your inbox. I know at times electronic documents may not be user-friendly, but you have them. The rest we shall handle administratively. Honorable Rose.
Thank you, Right Honorable Chair. Outside the strategic plan, first of all, definitely to thank you and the members of the planning committee for the work well done. That today we are launching our strategic plan. It's a very wonderful moment for us as a East African Legislative Assembly because it is unusual, you know, but we have done it, that we can make our own strategic plan. Most organizations hire out this activity, but it's gratifying to know that we're able to do it ourselves. Now, on the other matter, which has nothing really to do with the strategic plan, Right Honorable Chair, I note that whenever we have our meetings here, there is just about the only chair council that comes to these meetings, virtual meetings of the assembly. We don't convene the assembly to talk to ourselves, Right Honorable Chair. I really want to appeal, perhaps, I don't know, maybe we have to put it in writing. This is a virtual meeting where anyone can attend wherever they are, in their offices. It doesn't take anything for them it's not a task to come over. So I want to appeal, perhaps in our forthcoming meetings, that members of our council should be notified that they are part and parcel of these meetings we hold as an assembly. We don't convene an assembly to talk to ourselves. There are questions we would like to ask sometimes, but it's only chair council who is present most of the time. So, Right Honorable Chair, it's an appeal I'm making that maybe members of our council need to be reminded again that even in these virtual meetings, they can actually participate better and that they need to be part of these meetings. Right, Honorable Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Rose. It's really concerning that ministers are not attending, although we know in some partner states it's a campaign period, but as you said, everyone is connected. Most of our region has access to internet, and it is possible to connect even from remote locations where anybody can be. So it's a matter of, in most cases, prioritizing. So I even know that General Purpose Committee could not meet them today because they were not available. But
Right, Honorable, just for information, Right, Honorable, we met them actually, and 5 of them out of 6 attended, and only one person was represented the Republic of South Sudan by the Undersecretary, but they all attended.
That is very good news because in one of my discussions with the Secretary General in the morning, he was concerned that ministers may not be available. So it is very good if they attended. So they should also be available to attend because they are members of this assembly. But also I know the Honorable Minister from Burundi has asked to be sworn in tomorrow, so that one couldn't be expected here. And there was also a written apology from the Honorable Cabinet Secretary from Kenya. So in some cases they communicate, in some cases they're not, but we'll continue encouraging them to be present. Now, may I request, as we end this, we have regional press here. We have regional press. It's unfortunate that for the past few weeks, the headlines have missed the point of what EALA is here for. And I'm happy that most of you, or all of us, decided to just focus on what matters to us than being distracted by those headlines. So I have invited the regional press here so that they can also participate in our launching of our strategic plan. And I want to request you, Honorable Dr. Oburu, and your team to stay behind and talk to them, talk to the press about this strategic plan. Now that will be your final task in this process. Talk to them, let them ask questions about the content, everything they wanted to ask about the strategic plan. Because it's very important that we communicate our plan to the people of West Africa. So the members of the press who are here, who are going to participate in this interaction, thank you for being around. And please ask the subcommittee anything to do with this strategic plan. You may even ask anything else because the members that will be talking to you are able to speak about any subject regarding EALA. So, honorable members, except for the subcommittee that will stay behind to talk to the press, I thank you very much for your time and I wish you a very good evening.
Okay.
That's excellent.
Over to you, Dr. Oburu.
Good.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Over to you,
Since
Abraham.
we don't have them here, switch them off a bit. I'm finishing something.
Okay.
Over to you, Abraham.
Over to Abraham, yeah.
Honorable George Odongo. Don't go anywhere. Honorable George Odongo, Honorable Kenneth